Hi, today I'll show you how to say your name so people understand you more easily. First, we'll look at what some of the problems are, and then I'll show you 3 easy solutions that you can apply immediately so people will be able to catch your name, say your name, and hopefully remember your name more easily. Okay? Now, first of all, names from around the world are beautiful. They're wonderful. It's just that when you're speaking in English, English speakers and English listeners may not be accustomed to them or used to them, so they need your help to get them to understand your name and say your name. All right? So let's begin. So first, let's look at what some of the problems or difficulties are. So first of all, a person's name might be just new. The person you're saying it to may have never heard it before. For example, the name Mayuko, which is a Japanese name, or the name Bjorn, which is a Swedish name. But they might not be familiar to the person you're speaking to. So you have to be able to say it in a certain way so the person can catch it. And I'm going to tell you what those tricks are very soon. Also, your name might be a little bit different from the English version of that name. For example, English speakers might be familiar with the name Edward, but not Eduardo. Or they might be familiar with Julia, but not Julia. So you may have to stress that in a particular way. Okay? Next, the pronunciation of the name may be something that's challenging for English speakers. Their ears are not accustomed to it, and their mouth is not accustomed to saying it. All right? So you're saying to me, so what can I do? Like, that's my name. And as I said, that's beautiful. Let me show you now 3 easy things you can do to make it easier. All right? Next. So the 3 main points are the order in which you say your name, the speed at which you say your name, and your delivery. Okay? I'll explain to you what we mean by that in a second. So the order should be like this. First, you should say your first name, then your last name. Okay? Your first name, then your family name. I know in school, when they called out attendance many years ago, they used to say people's last name, right? But when you introduce yourself, you don't do that. You say your first name, your personal name, and then you say your family name or your last name. That's the order. That's what people expect to hear, and that's what they will think when you say your name. Next, the speed. So what happens? We all know our names. So we say our names really fast. So let's say somebody's name is John Miller. So he might say, my name's John Miller. My name's John Miller. Like, what? Sorry, what? And so John knows his name. He's been saying it all his life. And so he says it really fast. He doesn't realize that for people to hear it and repeat it, he needs to slow down and follow some of these steps. These rules I'm telling you are not only for you, it's also for English speakers or anyone who's speaking in any language. Okay? So first, you need to slow down and you need to pause between the first name and the last name. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of these things when we get to our examples in 1 second. Next, the delivery. By delivery, we mean the way that you're speaking, the melody, the rhythm, okay? And that rhythm has to go up and then down. It doesn't have to. I'm suggesting to you that if you do that, it will make it much easier for the other person to hear it. These are the same strategies that are actually taught at various universities to university students who are going out for job interviews and to make a good impression so that people can hear their names clearly. And also the way the name is said then, by following these rules, it sounds like a person who's not in a hurry. They're very confident. They're saying their name proudly and clearly. All right? So now let's apply these 3 rules. So I'm going to start with my name. My name is also an unusual name. It's not a name that people hear or can say easily, right? So I would say something like this. My name is, pause, Rebecca Ezekiel. So what did I do? First, there's a pause. My name is, pause, first name going upward, pause between the first and the last name. This part is really important. Otherwise, it all seems like one train that's going too fast. Okay? So, my name is, pause, first name going upwards, pause, second name, last name, sorry, going downwards. I'll say it again. My name is Rebecca Ezekiel. Now, even if you had never heard this name before, at least you have a chance to hear it clearly. Because if you can't hear it clearly, then you definitely cannot say it or remember it. Okay? Now, you don't need to practice my name, you need to practice your name. But let's practice with some other names in general, the same principles. Ready? My name is Lucas Silva. See how clear and separate those were? Next, my name is Sarah Hakim. Now, this name, for example, in English, people might usually say Sarah, Sarah, or there could be Sarah. So maybe this one is Sarah. So if you write your name like this, but you decide how you spell your name, you decide how you pronounce your name. Nobody else decides that. You decide. But let them hear it, okay? So if this woman's name is Sarah, then she could say that. My name is Sarah Hakim. Okay? Up, down. Very clear. Here's another name. My name is Tanishka Patel. My name is Tanishka Patel. Now, even if you've never heard that name before, at least you have a chance to hear it. And then you could always repeat, oh, is it Tanishka? And then the person will tell you. But at least you've heard something. You've caught something. That's okay. But especially when they're saying your name. This is the point. How you say your name. Next, even for ordinary English names, the people should be saying it in this way. My name is Sam Shelton. If he says Sam Shelton, what did you catch? Sam Shelton. So maybe if you start to follow these very good rules, maybe people around you will start to do the same thing. And hopefully all of us in the world will be able to understand each other's names and remember each other's beautiful names. All right? So please do that right after this lesson. Say, my name is, and then use this strategy with your first name and with your last name. And I believe that the next time you go to a conference or a meeting or a party or an event of any kind and you introduce yourself, people will understand your name and hopefully remember you as well. All right? Thanks for watching. Bye for now.